Hey everybody, welcome to the Cow Emporium. It's Nat. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome here if this is your first time. Today I'm going to be harvesting our winter squash. Probably not all of it. We had winter squash growing in the big garden behind me, and we had 600 square feet for the squash to grow in. So let's take a look at what kind of squash I'm going to be harvesting today and over the next few days. Glenn was in the basement putting a shelf together for me. It's a nice wire shelf. And each shelf holds several hundred pounds, and I don't have that many squash to put on it, but it's down our cold room, and they lasted very well down there last year, so I'm excited to see how this works. So let's get going. Hey guys, this is my squash patch from the corn across the big garden to this fence that my cucumbers were supposed to grow up, and just never figured that out. So our first squash here, you can see we've had some pretty severe frost damage in this garden, and this is kombucha squash. So this is the first one I'm going to take in because the frost has actually like killed off the plant most of the way. So I'm going to be putting that in the bucket, and let's take a walk over here. To the next squash that I'm going to harvest today is my spaghetti squash. Now I put some straw over top of it because the frost was happening and I didn't want it to be wrecked. Look at the size of that, hey? And I have so many of those hiding under these leaves here. It's amazing when the leaves start to die back what you can actually find for squash. Let's mosey on. Hey guys, thanks for watching our videos. We sure appreciate it, and we sure enjoy watching your videos too, just so you know. In this area here, I planted some acorn squash. Acorn squash is one of my favorites, and I've replanted it 3 times, and the darn gophers ate them every single time. So I've taken the opportunity to plant some beets, Swiss chard, spinach, and a few peas in there late in the season, just to see what was up and if I could grow anything in the garden so late. Now this one here is a butternut squash. Here in our area, we find it very difficult to grow butternut squash. Please tell me in the comments if you are able to grow butternut squash in your area. Our growing zone is about 2 to 3. And so I do have a really nice big one in there. And I think besides that, I just have a little one over here. It's a little misformed, but you know what? I'm not gonna hold that against it. I think if the skin can toughen up, it'll be a good keeper. Okay, other than that, let's mosey on down to the little pumpkins. Now I say little pumpkins because that's what they are, guys. They're just little pumpkins. Let's try to find one here for you. There's one. Look at that, so cute. Those are sugar baby pumpkins, and they're not that big. You see, I don't have that big a hand. And there's my hand. It should be just a nice little pumpkin. And I thought, oh, these would be great, just the right size for baking and cooking with. And you can manage to get through the whole thing without too much trouble. Okay, I know we're kind of walking around a bit, and I appreciate you guys hanging in. If you're still here watching, thank you so much. Don't forget to hit that like button. Now this, guys, is a table queen squash. I got these seeds from the east coast of Canada, from Vesey Seeds on Prince Edward Island, and they do almost look like an acorn squash, but that's not what they called them. But I'll be super excited if they taste like that. Now you'll notice this plant, it grows more like a zucchini, that one over here, in the way that it doesn't spread out like this kombucha squash, dude. Like, it just took over the entire squash area. So funny. Anyway, let's get some of these harvested. Holy cow, guys. I think I'm winning this tug-of-war game with the kombucha squash vine. Wow, did it ever go crazy. Okay, let's see what we got so far, guys. So you know when your squash is ready when the outside of the skin is firm and like I can't stick my fingernail into it super easily. Moving on to the pumpkin, its skin is not quite as firm, but it's turning. So I know that these will be ready very soon. So in the case of these table queen squash, I'd say that they're okay to pick. I'm gonna pick them now and bring some in. Oh look, reinforcements. Oh, your bum is wet, Glenn. Glenn just finished turning the compost and the tractor seat was wet. So I'm trying to be super careful today because I hurt my knee in phys ed playing. I captured the flag type game. I'm just a tad competitive, guys. So I'm glad Glenn's here to help today. So do you want me to...
Let's just get them in here before it rains.
So I'm gonna put a blanket on the floor and just set them down. Cut the box back.
No.
I can take it. No. Since when has that ever worked, Glenn? So we just brought them in to wipe them off. Maybe you guys can tell me in the comments. I was just gonna let these dry a little bit and then wipe the fresh dirt off. But maybe you can tell me how it is that you would clean them before they go on their shelves. So this is what we ended up with. Bottom 2 rows of spaghetti squash. And I decided not to wash the squash. I'm gonna wait to see what you guys say. And I left that dirty side up on purpose so that I could just keep an eye on it, see what's going on. It's not actually dirty, guys. There's some scratches and stuff on there. They're not fresh scratches, so they're healed up. And then we got the table queen squash that, gosh, you know what? I'm gonna call this an acorn because that sure looks like an acorn squash. Odds and ends, some kombucha that wouldn't fit. One of my giant zucchinis. This is the butternut squash and some leftover pumpkins. The next shelf is Paul pumpkins. And then the kombucha squash. And one of the table queens up top. I still have some room up top on the very top shelf for some squashes as I find them in the garden. I also had very good luck storing my scallopini squashes in here last year, so I'm gonna throw some of those on the top shelf. If you guys are interested in seeing me cook with these squashes, just let me know in the comments. Until next time, my friends, take care, be well, and I will see you soon. I am gonna go have a nap now.